Hey, what's up, everybody? Fred Minnick here, and I'm going to review a pair from Ammunition. This is a brand that's, like a lot of brands out there, getting source whiskey, finishing it in additional barrels. They are getting their whiskey from, I just want to confirm it's on the label here, yeah, in MGP, so in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. They got it on the label, so kudos to them for following the statute that says you got to put the state of distillation on the bottle. So you can see that right there. Can you see it? Let me get, yeah, boom, right there. You can see distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. A lot of people dropping that off. So kudos to Ammunition for not trying to deceive folks. Now, this bourbon is finished in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels. I have hated all the cab finishes I've had. I think there was one that I liked, and it was from Sazerac with their Thomas. Maybe it was a Thomas More, or something. It's escaping my memory, but to me, cab barrels are big and they fight the whiskey, and they don't really. They're not a good compliment. Also, it just I like cab, and so if I don't want to mix my cab and my bourbon. It's weird, but just kind of how I feel about it. So we'll see if that stands up. Now, as I'm pouring this, I want to tell you all a big announcement. Tomorrow, and we'll be on the network later on, but my Ascot Awards are going to air on the Spirits Network. I've got a link in the description so you can see that. They drop actually tomorrow, so June 1st, 2023 is when they will, air, and you can see who wins best bourbon, best scotch, best in show, and it's not just me. Other tasters like Lou Bryson, Clay Risen, Susan Riegler, Tiffany Barriere, a lot of great tasters will be joining me to determine best in show. So go check out that link in my bio. And go sign up for the Spirits Network. It's a network just entirely for booze. I'm an advisor to it. I've had a lot of shows on there. It's a great place to just kind of hang out. So here we are with the Ammunition straight bourbon whiskey finished in Cabernet barrels. This is 90 proof. All right, so the price, another encouraging sign. So they start out by telling us that the state of distillation is in fact Indiana, and now we see that the price is, under $40. So kudos to Ammunition for being around $40, $30 to $40. So here we go. Very plum forward. It's like a corn cob and plum are going out on a date, and then they had a baby 6 months later. And there's a little bit of varnish on a big note of varnish, kind of like furniture, like the kiosk. Ooh, that's the kiosk. What's the place that you go and you buy furniture and you just put it all together? I got it. Anyway, one of that furniture place. You open it up and you smell the package of the fresh furniture. It smells like that. And like it's a little bit of wood, a little bit of varnish, a little bit of stain. I mean, that's not an encouraging smell, but that's what I smell. The palate at 90 proof, very representative on the palate. It tastes like, it tastes a little bit like oatmeal, a little brown sugar. There's some raisins in there. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. And in fact, my previous comment of I haven't really had any Cabernet barrels that I'm a fan of. I rather like this. I rather like the approach of this. I'm not saying this would be an everyday drinker for me, but for someone who likes notes of raisins and plums, you like fruit forward types of bourbons. You may really fall in love with this, and at $40, I would say go to the store and buy a bottle, buy two, and a pretty nice price point, and it's worth 30 to 40 bucks. Absolutely. If they were charging 100, 150 for it, I might say, yeah, not so fast. But at this price point, it's a very nice price point. Let me taste it one more time. It's one of those where I was expecting not to like it. I smelled it, was expecting not to like it after I smelled it. I taste it, and it just changed my mind. It changed my mind. This like oatmeal, just imagine like some oatmeal, some brown sugar, some raisin. You stir that up. You know, who hasn't had that in their life? That's what this tastes like to me. But there's just a little hint of like cinnamon that comes in toward the end that to me wins me over. So, yeah. I mean, go grab this. The Ammunition straight bourbon whiskey finish in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels. Not the biggest fan of finishes, as you all know if you've been on this channel for long. But this is really solid, especially for the money. Now, let's go on over to the rye. The rye is finished in Pinot Noir barrels in that 30 to 40 range. So at Binny's, they are selling it for $34.99. I find Binny's to be an excellent website for national pricing. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so the Pinot Noir finish rye. This is 90 proof as well. I don't really smell the Pinot Noir. I smell what I presume to be a 95.5 rye. I smell the dill. I smell rye all up on my nose. This is really aggressive on the nose. It's almost like there's petrol there, which petrol is a note you hear a lot about in wine, especially in German wines. And basically, that's a European way of saying gasoline. Yeah, so it does smell kind of like oily, gasoline-y. On the palate, it does have kind of like this oiliness to it. Like it feels like if you were to take a teaspoon of olive oil, just imagine that on your tongue, kind of how it would bead and just kind of go woo, woo, woo. It feels like that, and the Pinot finish is rather lost. I don't really find there to be any Pinot related notes at all, and it just tastes like a rye to me. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to have a finish, I want to be able to taste what that finish is. We definitely saw that. We definitely saw that with the bourbon. I am not seeing that with the rye. But if you want to go back and take a deeper look at it, the rye does come off very spicy. It does come off with lots of hints of herbs. It does have a kind of an anise note to it as well. So this does follow a little bit more of a rye path, but that secondary barrel is not doing much for it. Still, if you like rye, take a gamble on it. I mean, it's not going to break the bank, and $40 is a reasonable price point today. But there are brands that are coming out with a bottle very similar to this at $200, and that is not warranted. That is not feasible. This company coming out at 30, 40 bucks, I salute you for that. Big win on the bourbon. That one won me over. The rye, meh. But if you like rye, I still say take a gander for it, or take a flyer on it. Anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Be safe out there. I've got some links in the description for you to go check out the Spirits Network premiere of the Ascots. Make sure you check that out. Also, check out Club Marzipan, where you can find my barrel picks, exclusive content, and much, much, much more. Cheers.